My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. And to read all my writing, go to counterpropa.com and support this YouTube channel through the Patreon link below. Journalist Barrett Brown was arrested again, and I'm going to link Barrett Brown's Twitter page, Free Barrett Brown, and this is a very important issue for a great many people, including WikiLeaks' Julian Assange. WikiLeaks tweeted out Tim Black's segment. Amazing segment. Tim Black's amazing segment on Barrett Brown. I'm going to put Tim Black's segment below as well in the description. Please share that. Janice Turner has a tweet, very interesting, very powerful tweet. I really don't know how DOJ, FBI, BOP, and Stratfor aren't mortified by how they've handled the Barrett Brown case. So there's information on Barrett Brown's Twitter page at Free Barrett. I'll put that below. But if you read something very interesting, it's from whowhatwhy.org. And it's linked a tweet from Barrett Brown's Twitter page. The saga of Barrett Brown, Inside Anonymous, and the War on Secrecy. So this is February 21st, 2013. I just want to give my viewers some background into this really amazing journalist, heroic and courageous journalist. I'll read this right now. Alleged hacktivist Barrett Brown, the 31-year-old mislabeled spokesman for the shadowy hacker collective known as Anonymous, faces federal charges that could put him away for over 100 years. So Barrett Brown was released and just recently, the other day, arrested. Did he engage in a spree of murders, run a child sex ring? Not quite. His crime, making leaked emails accessible to the public, documents that shine a light on the shadowy world of intelligence contracting in the post-9/11 era. I think we, as a society, and as Americans need to know this, that this is journalism. What Barrett Brown is doing is journalism. Not the New York Times and the Washington Post. Sometimes they engage in journalism. Most of the time, they're cheerleaders for the establishment of the Democratic Party. A critically acclaimed author and provocative journalist, Brown cannot be too easily dismissed as some unruly malcontent, typing away in the back of a gritty espresso lounge. He is eccentric, and he was clearly high on something, if only his own hubris, when he made a threatening video that put him in the Fed's crosshairs. But that's not the real reason for the government's overreaction. Evidence indicates it has a lot more to do with sending the message to the community he comes from, which the government sees correctly as a threat. The Barrett Brown case is simply the latest in a string of prosecutions in which the government pursues anyone involved in making information liberated from governmental or corporate entities easily accessible to the public. Those targeted are not necessarily accused of illegal entry itself, the hack, or violating contracts, as in the case of a leak. These are people performing a function analogous to that of a newspaper, yet they can face prison sentences longer than those prescribed for murderers, rapists, and terrorists. Unbelievable. And this happened all throughout President Obama's administration. Well, I'll continue. The Obama administration's assault on accountability is dual-pronged. Attack the messenger, as in the case of Brown, WikiLeaks, even New York Times reporters, and attack the source, Bradley Manning, John Kirikou, Thomas Drake. In fact, 7 of those sources have been indicted as traitors under the 1917 Espionage Act during the Obama years alone, more than double the espionage charges against whistleblowers by all previous presidential administrations combined. This is why I focus on the fact that Hillary Clinton deliberately put special access program intelligence on an unencrypted private server along with yoga emails. That's why I continually harp, because you have people, journalists like Barrett Brown and whistleblowers like Jeffrey Sterling, who face prison sentences for something that helps society, whereas Hillary Clinton actually did violate not only Espionage Act laws, but hurt national security. Everybody on the planet hacked into that private server. I'll continue. The Espionage Act is a draconian relic from World War I designed to prevent infiltration by foreign agents like those of the Kaiser's Germany. It has a sordid history as an instrument against American dissenters who leaked to the media, including Pentagon paper whistleblower Daniel Ellsberg, but has been used sparingly hitherto until Barack Obama's administration. Round one of his travails began on March 6, 2012, when FBI agents raided his Dallas apartment looking for evidence related to the 2011 hack of emails belonging to Stratfor, a private firm with substantial links to the American intelligence community. Brown sought refuge at his mother's, but special agents arrived there as well. Later in the evening, although the feds found no incriminating evidence, they continued to harass Brown and his family, threatening to file obstruction of justice charges against Brown's mother for hosting her son during the raid. This prompted Brown to record an anonymous YouTube video threatening the special agent in charge of the investigation. He was arrested that evening and held for weeks without indictment under the claim he was an imminent threat to the agent's safety. In December of that year, while still in custody, he was indicted on an additional charge, trafficking in stolen material. Had he been shipping purloined goods across state lines? Hardly. His, quote, trafficking, according to the government, consisted of posting a link in a chat room. On January 23rd of this year came the coup de grace. Brown was hit with a third round of federal charges, this time for alleged concealing evidence during the initial March 2012 raid in his apartment. Officially unrelated to these charges is the real nut of the government's dispute with Brown, his personal initiative known as Project PM. Goes on to discuss Barrett Brown, and the name Stratfor will be familiar to our readers. It has been in the news in the past. Who, What, Why recently produced an exclusive investigation with new revelations on General David Petraeus' career-ending affair based on documents obtained by the whistleblowing group WikiLeaks from the same Stratfor email reserve to which Brown linked. Brown was never indicted for the infiltration, per se. Instead, he was charged with, quote, trafficking in stolen material and access device fraud, as mentioned, for posting in a chat room. This is America. This is, when you talk about the Bill of Rights, you talk about journalism, you talk about whistleblowing. Why is there a need for whistleblowing at all? Because there's so much corruption. Because there's so many things done in the name of national security. And because there is an assault on the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Barrett Brown he's really a hero in terms of his journalistic integrity, what he means to whistleblowers, what he means to this country. I will put all these links below. Definitely check out Who, What, Why. I'll put Barrett Brown's Twitter page. I hope he's okay, and I hope he is free very soon. I'll also put Tim Black's amazing segment on Barrett Brown that was retweeted by WikiLeaks. Give me your thoughts.